Well, they're multiplying. Thanks, bud. Now what? So all I know about this is it's a Series 2A probably. Yeah, so all I know about it is a Doormobile camper with the original framework, which is in decidedly average condition. The fiberglass top, the important bit, is missing. A good friend of mine that I got this from used to have molds to make the tops. He had one of these, he made a mold from it. The mold that he had got lost. It was with a company that was making tops for him. That company went into receivership. He didn't realise it was sold as part of that company's stuff. So I don't have an easy way to get a top. Doormobile still exists, I believe, but it's over £3,000 UK for a kit, which makes it probably 10 grand landed here by the time I do everything. I'm not going to do that, I don't think. In fact, if a bunch of you are screaming at the screen right now, I'm not even going to restore this. This is a parts wagon. I will save the parts worth saving. I don't know if that Doormobile framework is worth saving, but I will save it anyway. Somebody's going to want it, and the fact that I have it, it's too novel for scrap. The back end of this truck and the bodywork is not too bad. The front end is pretty mush. The chassis is gone. It's rusted, it's been cut up, outriggers are missing. Some of the outriggers are just rusted off. Yes, I know I can get outriggers and put them back on, but until I get the body off this, I won't know just how bad the chassis is, but I don't think it's worth saving. So I've got a rear axle, rear suspension. I'll probably replace the leaves anyway, but the back end seems complete. Don't know the state of the diff. It does turn, it does roll. I didn't hear any crunching while we were rolling it. Back door is a bit mangled, but it seems fine. Roof actually seems fine under all the lichen and algae. Steering wheel looks nice. Other than that, it's a project. But this is not the actual project. So let's go get that. this is the project. 5 Landrovers is not enough. 7 seems like a nice round number. Now I believe, I don't have all the details yet, I'm going to do a wee bit of research. If that guard is correct, that means it had headlights on the inside, which makes it a Series 2, I think, not a 2A. I think the 2As had the lights out on the guard. It's supposed to be quite complete. My mate who's got it is pretty sure it's pretty much all there. We need to pull the engine out at some point from the shed, which is just behind me here. That's stored on a rack somewhere, but it should be everything I need to get this going. Between this and the other one, we'll have enough parts, I think. So yeah, next step, I've got to get that on here. I'm going to start by just pulling this out and straightening it up a little bit. A little bit awkward to try and get the trailer straight onto where it is parked here, so I should be able to just tie it to the trailer and pull it forward. Failing all else, I'll go and grab the tractor and we'll pull it out that way. Damn, almost got it on. Don't need much. Just got to get the back wheels up on the rings and then it'll roll forward on its own accord. There we go. Just and only just. Oh. Doing it by hand. Sometimes it's enjoyable to leave the power stuff at home. By the time you're done, you know you've done. Anyway, we get this all strapped down. We'll get it back home, parked beside the other one, and then we'll have a chat about what I intend to do with it. And I may need your input into that too. Alright, and with Bud barking in the background, we're back. So, made it home. in one piece, that's good. I've looked up the plates, and plates aren't live. Yeah. One of the key features of this project was that this truck, I believe, was supposed to have live plates. I've looked the plates up and they are very dead, so I need to check with my mate on that one. So Mark, if you're watching this, are there some other plates somewhere? I don't know. I don't think this vehicle has a VIN. It's got a serial number. I haven't actually tried to decode that serial number yet, so I'll have a look at that and find out if there's any information I can glean from that. But the plate that's screwed to the back of this truck doesn't come up in the system when I search for it, so I'll have to sort that out. I mean, worst case, I have to take it through compliance. That may change the plans that I had, and I just want to briefly talk about those before I finish out the video. So one option I've got is to take this back to bog standard. It is the safari roof. It's got the vents in the roof under the second skin, and it's got the nice padded door insides, and so yeah, it's the nice model with the lined interior, and you know, it's probably a nice vehicle to take back to absolute stock original. The other option I've got is to take one of the many TD5 diesel Discoveries I've got around here, which are, I mean, you know, you're talking decades newer technology, much nicer, nicer to drive, nicer creature comforts, just an all-round nicer place to be inside. But I could take one of those, because Discoveries aren't worth a great deal, and I could put the running gear and a bunch of the technology into this and make this a nice daily driver. And that is something that's bouncing around inside my head at the moment. Now, if I have to recomply this, my understanding is that it's got to be basically taken back to original. Otherwise, I don't know what the process is. I don't know whether you can do like certification in conjunction with compliance. Compliance is getting it back on the road, getting it a proper number plate and all the rest of it, making it legal. Certification, on the other hand, is when you make changes to a legal vehicle that make it illegal. So certainly if I start putting coil springs under this, or if I start doing things like changing the seats, although the seats that are in it aren't genuine Land Rover anyway, there's a bunch of stuff that if you change it, you need to get certification for those changes, and that requires you to pay a guy a bunch of money to make sure that it can brake from 100 k's down to nothing 3 times in a hurry, and a few other, like they just go over it and check safety stuff. So the two ideas I have are to either modernise the running gear and make this a daily driver. I think that would be quite a nice vehicle, but I think the value in this, given that it's actually pretty tidy when you start to look around it, I think I'd kind of like to keep it original. I do have the original 2.25 litre petrol, 4-cylinder petrol. That's still over at Mark's place. I haven't picked that up yet, but it doesn't need much. I think the missing door is in the back here. I'm not sure about the bonnet. The guard is in the back as well. So short of a bonnet and probably just ancillary parts, I think it's fairly complete. Looking at the chassis, it doesn't look too rusty. Nothing on it looks terribly rusty, actually. It's a pretty good looking wagon from certain angles. So yeah, at this point I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I welcome your input. If you have a preference one way or another, if you think I should take it back to original, or if you think I should make it a nice daily driver. I do a lot of vintage radio restoration, and I have to kind of flip-flop on that as well, as to whether you should modernise something a little bit or take it back to absolutely stock original. There are a lot of these around. There's less than there used to be, and tomorrow there'll be less, and the day after that there'll be less again, because stuff gets taken off the road for whatever reason. But there is no worldwide shortage of these. They were made in the hundreds of thousands over decades. So I don't think it's so special that I can't mess with it a little bit. Plus, realistically, if I'm going to drive it any distance, I don't want it to be a 2.25 litre petrol with a 4-speed manual that I have to put grade 5 air defenders on to drive it over 50 kilometres an hour and have a top speed of 85. You know, I don't really want that. If I was going to drive this any distance, I'd want it to be comfortable. But yeah, this is it. Another project, because I need another project, like I need a hole in the head, but sometimes you just can't say no to something this cool. I showed it to my daughter and she went, "Ew, it looks old." So it's got to be good, right? If a young person looks at it and goes, "Ew, it's old," then it's perfect. Yeah, so anyway, we'll catch you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.